Having discussed about the different kinds of literals, integer, float, strings, and booleans, now it is time to discuss on operators. So now we are entering into the province of operators and expressions. Okay, fine. We start with the definition of the operator, different kinds of operators, and with examples. An operator. What is an operator? Operator is basically a symbol. Okay, operator is a symbol of the programming language which is able to operate, manipulate the values. Okay, so all the addition, subtraction, multiplication, percentage, asterisk, exponentiation are all called operators. Example. So this is symbol basically represents a programming languages and able to operate, manipulate, okay, work on the values. Okay, so it accepts two or more values and manipulate according to the symbol and returns the result. It could be in the form of output in the screen. The return results are displayed. So it returns a result that can be used in the application. A simple example, 4 plus 5. So plus is an additional operator which takes two values, operand. So operands are nothing but data. Data supplied to the operator, the symbol. And it manipulates the two value, returns the result. The result is displayed either on the screen or output or printed, could be used in any application. So a symbol which is used, okay, to perform the operations on operand. So plus is an operator. 4 and 5 are called operand. Operands are nothing but data. Input, the value supplied to the operator. Okay, so that is the basic definition of operators. Fine. So data and operators, that is operand and operators, are connected together to form an expression. For example, 4 plus 5. 4 plus 5 is a simple expression. Ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, an expression. So ax square plus bx. So b is an operator that connects the two operand ax square and bx. So the data and operators which are connected together to form an expression. A simplest expression is the literal itself. Literal is a value that defines itself. Okay, for example, a 4 is a literal, a meaning, a data. Okay, so it's a simple expression. Fine. So data and operators together form an expression. It could be a simple expression as like a literal, a lengthy expression 4 plus 5 into 6 division by percentage 8 minus 2 could be a lengthy expression. So an expression is a collection of operators which together form a meaningful value, right? So we have 7 kinds of operators. So all the 7 types of operators are here listed in the slide. The number 1, arithmetic operators, relational operator, assignment operators, logical operators, membership operators, identity operators, and bitwise operators. Right? So we have 7 kinds of operators. As like any other programming languages, C, C++, we do have the list of operators. So every language, computer language, will support the basic and fundamental operators. Fine. So in this session, we'll discuss about arithmetic operators in detail with examples, the type of arithmetic operators and examples. So in the next following session, so we'll proceed to the later part. Okay. Now coming to the arithmetic operator. So what are the arithmetic operator? So we have exponentiation, multiplication, division, integer division, remainder, percentage, addition, subtraction, and we have two more special functions. Part of arithmetic operators are operators versus parenthesis and operator binding of operators. Okay, so just to glance the different types of operators used for arithmetic operation. So have a look. We'll be checking, we'll be working on with the Python editor. Okay. So the exponentiation operator is represented by double asterisk. Double asterisk. So a double asterisk sign is an exponentiation operator. Otherwise, it is also called as power operator. Okay. Otherwise, it is also called as power operator. Okay. This exponentiation operator has left argument is the base. Its right called exponent. Classical mathematics prefers notation with the subscripts with the subscripts. Okay, so when we write or read in the mathematical form, we use we prefer notation with a subscript. For example, okay, a power 4. The 4 is a power symbol, a power term, and okay, the representation is called a superscript 4. So this is a mathematical expression, right? 3 power 4. So this is called superscript notation. In conventional mathematics, classical mathematics prefers the notation with superscript, but we cannot represent the same way like programming languages. Okay, so in fact, C++ languages, they don't have direct exponentiation operator. With the help of a POD function, we need to implement the power term. But in Python, we have a exponentiation operator represented by double asterisk. Okay, it is 3 power 4 is nothing but 3 double asterisk 4. Okay, so we have 3 double asterisk 4. So the left argument to the power operator is called base. Please note the left argument, or the operand or the data to the operator is called base, and its right called the exponent. As I said, in classical mathematics, we use the notation called superscript to represent the power operator. Python uses double asterisk, okay, double asterisk to manipulate the exponentiation operator. So a double asterisk sign is an exponentiation operator, which is also otherwise called as the power. Okay. Okay. So its left argument is the base. Its left argument is the base value, and to the right is called the exponent. Right? Multiplication, it's a very simple, represented by asterisk. The sign is a multiplication operator. A slash, what does it represent? A slash sign is a divisional operator. We know it has a minimum two data it needs to have to manipulate it. So the value in front of the slash, left to the slash, is called dividend. Okay, for example, 3/4. The value to the left of the division operator, front of the slash, is a dividend, and the value behind the slash, after the slash, right to the slash, is called divisor. Okay, so a slash sign is a divisional operator. Okay, and it will return the value according to the data supplied. And we have a special kind of a divisional operator called double slash, okay, which is called a double slash sign is an integer divisional operator. It differs from the standard operator in two ways. First, a conventional slash results with the integer part and the fractional part, whereas integer division, okay, it removes, it ignores, or okay, removes the fractional part. If we like to have the result in the rounded format, okay, without fractional part, then we can use the integer division. So a double slash sign, which is an integer division, differs from the standard slash operator with lacks of fractional part, and the result are always rounded. Okay, we'll get only the integer values. We have remainder. Okay, the next operator is a peculiar one, so which returns the remainder value. It is also sometimes called as modulo, the remainder value, or it's also called as modulo in some programming languages. Okay, a percentage operator is called otherwise modulo. And we have conventional, the basic arithmetic operations, plus and minus to perform addition and subtraction. Okay. Operators and parentheses, operators and priorities. So that will be when we have expression. Okay. Generally 2 plus 3, an expression which will be evaluated from left to right. In case if we like to have a precedence, okay, I mean priority, for example, 2 plus 3 into 4, okay, and when it is represented inclusive between parentheses, so the expression which has in the parenthesis form will be given higher priority. Of course, the traversal, the process takes from left to right, but in an expression, any value that exists in between a pair of parentheses will give highest priority. So all the operators works from left to right traversal, except parentheses will be given more priority. Okay. One exception in the operator is exponentiation. Exponentiation always uses right-sided binding, whereas all other expressions, 2 plus 3 into 4 divided by 6. So which will be evaluated from left to right, except exponentiation. Exponentiation operator uses right-sided binding, whereas regular operators are evaluated left-sided binding. All the expressions, okay, will be evaluated left-sided binding except exponentiation, that is asterisk. Asterisk uses right-sided binding. Right? Now let us check, move on to the PyCharm and verify how it works. Okay. I had opened the PyCharm editor, right? So we start with the first operator, arithmetic, with exponentiation. Since it is a single line statement, let us use the Python console, okay, and could be extended for the better visual part, right? So we start with the arithmetic operator exponentiation, print, print 2 asterisk 3. Right? As a double asterisk is an exponentiation, I mean the power operator. Its left argument is called base and the right, its right is called exponent. Fine. So print enter, we get the output. Right? So 2 power 3. Fine. 2 power 3 is equal to 8. So kindly note we have surrounded the double asterisk with spaces. There is a space provided prior and later to the power, mean double asterisk symbol. Of course, it is not compulsory. Even without the space, it it will work. 2 power 3, 8. It is not a compulsory to leave a space, okay, prior and later to the double asterisk, but to improve the readability of the code. Okay, so to make it uh, uh, nice to have a good reading and improve the readability of the code, it is a best practice. Okay, to have a blank space to leave appropriately prior and later to every operator. So if we don't leave, so looking at 2 power 3 and 2 gap a space, we'll have a lot of difference. Okay, so as the new latest revision of IDE, without the print function, we'll be able to perform. Okay, just to type the instruction or the expression, we get the output. Okay, so the earlier IDEs need the print function. Print is a keyword, okay, which manipulates the data or the argument inside the function and returns the result. So the recent release of the editors, Python editors, okay, made SN very easy and saved a lot of time by leaving the basic operations. So just type 2 power 3, we get 8. It's a 2 power 3, it's a power 2 power, exponentiation of 2 to the power 3. So to evaluate, to get the power operation, just imagine how many lines we may require to write in the C, C++ or Java. We need to start with the include, then main function, declare two variables. We have to apply the power function. Since we don't have direct exponentiation operation, we have to use the POW function and later output by using print function. So minimum of 7, 8 or even more than 10 instructions we need to type, okay, to check the power operation. Whereas Python is very simple, easy and elegant language. So which has a direct exponentiation operator to calculate the result. Okay, and an important thing to be noted, fine. For example, let us check the same thing. Yes, 2 power 3.0. So to improve the readability, let us leave a blank space. It's a good programming practice to leave an appropriate blank space. As I said, it will help to improve the readability form. Okay, so what will be the result now? 2 power 3.0. It is 8.0. Okay, fine. Yes, sir. It is 8.0. Let me have another example. 2.0 double asterisk, exponentiation 3. Okay, will the result be the same? Okay, fine. Yes, again 8.0. 2.0 double asterisk 3.0. Now again 8.0. So what we have understood from this, when both the exponentiation arguments are integers, okay, when the both exponentiation operator, the base as well as the exponentiation part, when both arguments are integers, the result also an integer. If any one of the argument is float, then the result is float, either the base or at the exponent part. If either one of the argument is float or both are float, the result will be a floating point. This is an important distinction we need to remember. When both arguments are integer, the result will be also integer. If either one or both are float, then the result will be float. All right. Now, the next second operator is multiplication. So we are discussing in the precedence because exponentiation will have the highest priority in terms of arithmetic operators. That is the reason we started with exponentiation. Right? The second priority goes to the multiplication. Right? Let us take the same example, 2 asterisk 3, a simple multi. And as said, asterisk sign is a multiplication operator, and which manipulates the value and results data. Right? Now, 3 point. What will be the output? 2 into 3 dot. Any guess? 2 into 3 dot. Yes, yes, I have got few answers. Okay, fine. 2 into 3 dot. I got one response. Yeah, one more has responded. So 3 dot or 3.0 represents same. Okay, so if there is a dot, then it means it's a floating value, floating point value or float value. The result is 6.0, right? If we have 2.0, the result will be the same. All right. So now, in both cases, we have understood either exponentiation or multiplication. Okay, both represents the same. When the two values are integer, the result will be also integer. If either one or both are float, the result output will be float. Same as like exponentiation. Okay. Next, the third slash operator, as I said, slash represents is a sign represents the divisional operator. So the value in front of the slash, the 6 is called dividend, and the value behind the slash after the slash, right side to the slash, is called divisor. Dividend and divisor. Right? What will be the output? Any guess here? 6 slash 3. Yes, 6 slash 3. It is a 2.0. Right? Again, 6 slash 3.0. Any guess now? What will be the output now? Okay, yes, it will remain the same. Okay, so what we have understood, what's our observation here now? Regardless of whether or not either operand integer or float, regardless of whether integer or float, the result produced by the division operator is always float. Okay, regardless of either integer, the input, regardless of the input, either integer or float, the result produced by the division operator is always a float. Right? Let us have another example. 1 slash 2. Okay. Now what will be the output? 0.5. Yes, 0.5. It happens sometimes that we really need a division that provides only an integer value and not a float. Okay. Sometimes we may need only the integer value if we want to round the values. We don't want the fractional part. All we need is only the integer to round off the value. So it happens sometimes that we really need a division implementation operation and results only an integer value. We don't want float. How can we make it? So fortunately, Python can help with the help of integer division. There becomes the importance of integer division. So as I mentioned in the slide, integer division is represented by double slash, double slash. So a double slash, let us take the same example. A double slash represents the integer division, whereas a single slash represents a normal, a standard division. Double slash represents integer division. It differs from the standard slash operator in two details, as I said, which lacks of fractional part. Could you notice it? The earlier slash results 2.0. Now we have got only 2. So this result lacks the fractional part. There is no fractional part. Floating point is missing. It is absent here. So some cases, if we like to really need the division operation to provide only integer values, then this integer division will be a handy one. Okay. Now again, 1 double slash 2. Any guess what will be the result here? 1 double slash 2. Yes, it is 0. The actual answer is 0.5, as the double slash integer division ignores the fractional part. So we get the output as 0. Okay. Can we introduce the float here? No, even after using the double slash, I would like to get the result of float. I'm not happy with the integer output. Okay. And after some time, I realized that no, I want the including the output includes the floating point, fraction part, but still I want to use the integer division. With integer division, I also need the fraction part of the output. How can I make it? Yes. So introduce 6 double slash 3.0. So it is a deliberate attempt to get the output in the form of float, even though the operation involves integer division. If we like to have the output of a floating point, then we can introduce it deliberately. So without this, without the fraction part, we'll get only the integer, which result the lack the fractional part. Fine. If we introduce, okay, even the integer division results the floating point output. Okay. So the result of the integer division is always rounded to the nearest integer value that is less than the real. Okay, it's very important. The rounding always goes to the lesser integer. 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. Rounding to the lesser integer is 0. Sometimes we may know it, no? 10.6 will be rounded to 11. 10.9 rounded to 11. No. So this integer division, rounding always goes to the lesser integer. 10.6 or 7 will remain as 10. Is it clear? Fine. The third remainder, the next operator is quite peculiar one because it has no equivalent among the traditional arithmetic operators. So, and in Python, the remainder is represented the help of percentage. Okay, so for example, 14 percentage 4. So what will be the output here? So the result of the operator is the remainder left after the integer division. Please note the result of the percentage operator is the remainder left after the integer division. In other words, we can also say it's the value left over dividing one value by another to produce an integer quotient. Okay, and this percentage operator is sometimes called a modulo. Okay, in other programming languages. So what will be the value left after 14 is divided by 4? So obviously 2, right? So the value left over after dividing first value by the second value. After dividing one value by another, that produces an integer quotient. Please note integer quotient. Okay, so the remainder is represented graphically by percentage operator. Right? In case if you introduce a float in this place, 0, then we have a floating point remainder value. So unless otherwise it is specified, the remainder will be always an integer value. Right? So we have discussed exponentiation operator, multiplication operator, division operator, integer division, and remainder. And we have our conventional operators, that is addition, okay, which adds two value, right? If both are integer, the output will be also integer. If anyone is a float, it results a floating point type. Okay. Similarly, the subtraction. If any one of the input data is float, the result will be also obviously floating point type. Okay. So, so far we have used the operator with all kinds of manipulations. Okay. And as I said, the operators and their bindings, a special functions in the arithmetic operator is operators and binding. What is binding? The binding of the operator determines the order of computations performed by some selective operators with equal priority. Okay. So for example, let me first explain 2 plus 3, okay, minus 1. Yes, what will be the output here? Can you share the result? Okay, 2 plus 3 is 5 minus 1, 4, right? Now, let us have one more expression, 2 power 2 double asterisk 3. Yes. Can you estimate the result, output of this expression, 2 double asterisk 2 double asterisk 3? Any guess from your side? What will be the output here? Please post your answers in the chat window. It is 256, right? I got many answers. Yes, Shubham Das has shared 64. Right. Any other answers? 64, 256. Mehul, Ashish, David, all responded. Thank you all. How? 256, 64. How did you manipulate it? So, as I said, usually any expression in the mathematical form will be evaluated from left to right traversal process. So, 2, 3 added, 1 subtracted, and the result. So, there is one exception in this operations. In Python, the exponentiations are has right-sided binding. So this evaluation is called left-sided binding, traversing from moving from left to right to get the solutions according to the priority. Okay, whereas the double asterisk, the power exponentiation has right-sided bounding, which means the operator at the rightmost will be evaluated first. So 2 power 3, that is 8. So 2 into 2 into 2, 8. And then we have 2 power 8. 2 power 8 will be evaluated. So it is nothing but 256. Is it clear? So the binding of the operator determines the order of computations performed by some operators equal priority. Most of Python operators have left-sided binding. Left-sided binding, which means the calculation of the expression is conducted from left to right. Okay, but there is a one interesting exception. That is the exponentiation operator. Exponentiation operator uses right-sided binding. Kindly note it is worth remembering part. All other expressions except exponentiation have follow the left-sided binding. Right? Is it clear? Any doubts? Okay. Okay. And now moving on to the slide. Operator binding exponentiation uses the right-sided binding. Right? And another feature of the arithmetic operation is by using parentheses. Of course, we are always allowed to use parentheses. Parentheses can change the natural order of the calculations. As said, left-sided binding. When there is an expression, okay, uses parentheses, those expression will be given the higher priority, which means these parentheses change the natural order of the calculation. So in accordance with the arithmetic rules, sub-expressions, values in the parentheses are always calculated first. Okay, the values in the expressions, representing the parentheses must be always calculated first. We can use as many as parentheses as you need. Okay, and the advantage of parentheses is they are often used to improve the readability of the expression. So many times you won't be knowing, right? In fact, 2 plus 3 into 4, if you evaluate without, without the parenthesis, 2 plus 3, 5, 5 into 4, 20. Because there are no parentheses, there are no priority. We evaluate as per the rule, that is left-sided binding. This parenthesis also plays a significant role in providing the priority precedence, which means 3 into 4 must be calculated first, 12, and then it is added with the 2. 2 plus 2, 2 plus 2, 14. Whereas here 5 into 4, 20. The value matters. Okay, so we can have a parenthesis in the expressions and accordingly we can do it. Let us check on last final example here. Okay, print. I'll use the print function because we should not forget it, right? Even though the editor's IDE supports without the basic functions, but it's a good programming practice to use the appropriate functions, right? Because this kind of features may not be available in all the IDEs. 25, percentage, 13, end, plus 100, okay, followed by slash. As you may notice, once I type the left parenthesis, it counterpart will be automatically appended with that. So we may not make mistakes. We not leave any closing parenthesis or its counterpart. So it will be matched. All will be typing only the values. Right? 2 into 13 /2. Right? Right? So can you please evaluate and find the answer of this expression? Yes, only exponentiation uses right-sided binding. Yes. Okay. And the answer is supposed to be 10.0. So as we are using the slash operator, the division will return obviously, even though all the operands are integers. Okay, so here we apply the slash division operator. Hence, the output results in the floating point value. Okay, you can check the answers and verify it. Right? With this, we have come to the end. Okay. So in this session, we have introduced the arithmetic operators, right? 7 kinds of operators, starting from exponentiation, represented by double asterisk, multiplication, division, integer division, remainder, addition, subtraction, and 2 special properties. Okay, that is the number one difference between a regular operator expression without parenthesis and with parenthesis, and the right-sided binding, okay, property, which is applicable only to exponentiation, double asterisk. Fine.